an attack on Taiwan in the near future would be an excessive amount of risk, and it would end in a strategic really debacle for the Chinese military. And I think it would throw off their China dream of being the #1 economic and military power and so on. So, but I think that the Chinese would be high risk to take on an operation like that. And I think it would be unwise. It would be a political mistake, a geopolitical mistake, a strategic mistake, similar to what the strategic mistake. You know, President Xi is, I don't know him, I've never talked to him, and he'll make decisions based on what he thinks is his national interest. But as best I can tell, he's a rational actor. I think he evaluates things on cost, benefit, and risk. And I think that he would conclude that an attack on Taiwan in the near future would be an excessive amount of risk, and it would end in a strategic really debacle for the Chinese military. And I think it would throw off their China dream of being the #1 economic and military power and so on. So would he do it? Who knows? I don't know. But I can tell you that we watch it closely. We are militarily prepared. And one of the keys now is to make sure that Taiwan can defend itself. And there are a lot of lessons learned coming out of the Ukraine war. There's lessons learned for Taiwan. There are lessons learned that we're learning. There's lessons learned European countries learning. And there's lessons learned that President Xi and the Chinese military are learning. And one of the things people are learning is that war on paper is a whole lot different than real war. And when blood is spilled and people die and real tanks are being blown up, things are a little bit different. There's a lot of friction and fog and death in combat. And for someone who has, for a military that hasn't fought in combat since fighting the Vietnamese in 1979, they would be playing, a very, very dangerous game to cross the straits and invade the island of Taiwan. They don't have the experience, the background to do it. They haven't trained to it yet. They do piece part training. We watch it very, very closely. How much amphibious capability they have, how much airborne capability they have. Now, they could bomb it, they could missile it, they could attack Taiwan in that sense. But attacking and seizing the island of Taiwan across the straits, putting troops on the island of Taiwan, that is a very difficult military task to do. You've got a large city of Taipei with 3 or 4 million people, with the suburbs about 7 million people. You've got very complex terrain with mountains. Most of Taiwan is a mountainous island. So it's a very, very difficult military objective, a very difficult military operation to execute. And I think it'll be some time before the Chinese have the military capability and they're ready to do it. Now, that could be wrong. An incident could happen. Some sort of political thing could happen in a moment in time, and all of the decisions would change very, very rapidly. But I think that the Chinese would be high risk to take on an operation like that, and I think it would be unwise. It would be a political mistake, a geopolitical mistake, a strategic mistake, similar to what the strategic mistake is that Putin has made in Ukraine.